I sent him a message. Hello, vampirette. New linen school bag, new felt tip keys, a large pencil case. I'm ready for a great back-to-school season. You too, Emma, your friend too eager to be there tomorrow. Usually, vampirette responds to me very quickly. This time, I waited 3 days before hearing from her. I understood why by reading his message.
Emma, help. It's the cuddle for me. The year starts very pale. I tell you, very badly. First of all, I'm not in the class of my friends. Then, my neighbor always says that I'm bad. I don't have any friends, but I already have an enemy. Vampirette, your angry fang friend.
Vampirette makes me laugh with her vocabulary errors. But I was upset for her. I immediately wrote to her to cheer her up. My vampirette, don't panic. You should try to make new friends. For your neighbor, act like you didn't hear what she was saying and she be friends. Courage, my awesome fang friend, still so desperate, she answered me.
It's ruined. The year is going to be icy. Failed.
In order to make Vampirette smile again, she decided to go to class with her. Vampirette made an appointment to come and pick me up at 8:29 p.m. at the usual meeting place in my bedroom closet. Direction Vampire School, the Vampire Heaven, which starts in the evening at 8:30 p.m. I immediately knocked on the door of my cousin Paul's room, who is just sleeping at home this evening. He loves my funny girlfriend. Then, I woke up Mimi, my sweet pet bat that I brought back from my first visit to Vampirette. At 8:29 p.m., we entered a closet and a wild animal girl petrified us. That musty smell was her, I whispered. Vampirette? Paul panicked.
Bye-bye, Emma teleportation. I still can't get used to it.
He was about to come out of the closet when, suddenly, Vampirette twirled on the bar of the hanger before grabbing onto my cousin with her long, sharp nails. She asked him,
Hi, Paul. Are you coming too?
He muttered.
Well, in fact.
Without giving him time to finish his sentence, Vampirette grabbed each of us by an arm and exclaimed,
Let's go to vampire school. I invite you into my filth. Oops, into my class.
The closet ceiling exploded against a red and black sky. The ground shook. We felt the violent wind of a restless teleportation, and I buried Mimi in my pocket to light. When I go to the vampires, I'm never very reassured, but Vampirette really needed our help to overcome this complicated return to school. At Vampirette School, we ended up in the gym cupboard. Our friend glanced at her watch and jumped up in panic.
We're going to shut up. We're in a funk. No, late.
Without thinking, she grabbed the door handle to join her class. Horror, I threw myself in front of her shouting, Stoop. Paul stuttered.
Vampy pie, our co-co.
1,000 billion cockroaches.
Vampirette apologized.
I forgot to give you your capes and your big teeth. I'm a sucker.
To console her, Mimi tickled her neck with her wings. Vampirette laughed and, a whirlwind later, we were wearing school uniforms. Our disguises would protect us from the bites of other vampires. This time my friend opened the door safely and said,
The horror is yours. Oh, sorry. To you, Your Honor.
Paul gave me his hand and I shook it hard. When we entered the classroom, we were stunned. The students were surrounded by strange animals, owls, field mice, earthworms. From the back of the room, a deep voice called out to us. 7 seconds late ... Vampirette. I bet it's the fog again. The master was seated in a huge armchair behind a desk covered in mini, twisted pumpkins. Vampirette replied,
My crunchy friends. I meant my correspondents were lost in the gym.
With a smile with frightening canines, the master said to us,
Welcome, I am Mr. Radius, to instruct you. I wish you a thrilling return to school and lots of fresh blood.
We went to sit in front of Vampirette and Mordel, her famous neighbor who didn't seem so bad. I was going to compliment her on her pretty bed headband when I saw round her neck ... a sleeping snake. Mr. Radius slapped his pumpkin 3 times and said,
Let the training session begin.
Paul said,
Dressage at school? Vampire school is cool.
How lucky for Vampirette, she loves animals so much. But instead of rejoicing, my friend grumbled while unpacking her school bag.
Itchy fly droppings. I forgot my spider.
Mordil, her neighbor, laughed.
Another equipment oversight.
And you, Mordil.
Vampirette replied out loud.
You never forget to be annoying.
Vampirette, one more warning and you'll be punished for gossiping.
Mr. Radius said. Paul made a face at me, as if to say,
Not nice, this neighbor.
I was about to give Mimi to Vampirette when a skinny vampire turned to our friend and whispered,
I have 2 beetles. I'll lend you one.
You saved me. To croak, thank you.
She replied, catching the insect delicately between her nails. With my cousin, we exchanged a wink, as if to say, We were nice, this little vampire.
We were nice, this little vampire.
All hope was not lost to save Vampirette's return to school. When Mr. Radius asked for volunteers to inaugurate the dressage demonstration, Vampirette, excited, shouted,
Mimi, show us your acrobatics.
Delighted, Mimi clapped her wings. Paul protested in a low voice.
It's too risky. If we're found out, we're going to get eaten.
Here we go, I decided. No question of spoiling Vampirette's joy. Paul followed me onto the stage for the demonstration of the most gifted bat. In front of the class, I bravely announced, This is Mimi, the queen of rolls. Go ahead, Mimi. Our little beast performed a pretty somersault. Vampirette applauded.
Viper, Mimi, no, great.
But no reaction from the other students. Seeing me paralyzed with worrying, Paul came to my aid.
More difficult, the wheel. Show us, Mimi.
Miggly, damn, great.
Cried Vampirette. Sighs of boredom throughout the class as man was killing his most beautiful tricks. What did it take to impress vampires? When Mimi did 3 somersaults in a row, the students started laughing and giggling. My bat, disturbed gape. It's crushed on the nose. Paul, you're right. You're going to see that we're not vampires. I picked up Mimi, who was staring at me with an apologetic look, and, coming down from the stage, I reassured her. Well done, my little acrobat. I patted her behind the ears, as she likes. She gave me tender wing caresses on my wrist. Little by little, the chatter stopped. Mimi hopped up to my shoulder and gave me little kisses on my neck. The vampires, admiring, asked 1,000 questions.
Does she know how to kiss?
Can we have some too?
Mr. Radius congratulated us.
Sublime dressage work, extremely difficult, hugs and kisses.
Paul and I, proud and relieved, returned to our seats amidst applause. Impatient, Vampirette rocked in her chair to ask Mimi for a kiss. Zip, boom, the chair slipped and Vampirette fell.
Still on the ground.
Mordil laughed.
Well done for you.
Vampirette, you will copy the discretion chapter 250 times by tomorrow evening.
Mr. Radius growled. Mordil mocked.
Do you collect punishments?
It was too much thought. Vampirette's eyes turned blood red, her fingers curled like claws, and a fierce animal growl echoed in her throat.
Vampirette is going to attack Mordil.
Paul asked me, worried that the situation is getting worse. I begged. Vampirette, don't listen to Mordil. Luckily, the bell rang. We had recess to resolve the problem of this annoying neighbor as quickly as possible. Very happy to find her friends Draculine and Brahma at recess, Vampirette left us for a game of werewolves. Perched Paul and I. We now had to cross this vampire courtyard alone to join Mordil and ask him to stop making fun by Vampirette.
We're being followed.
Paul whispered to me behind the collar of his cape. Tycroak walked a few steps behind us. as if to spy on us. Mimi, upset at having missed her somersault demonstration in front of the class, practiced by jumping on our shoulders. I grabbed it to put it in my pocket, but the naughty girl slipped out of my hands and hid. In mortal's hood, Paul shouted,
Mimi, danger.
My cousin's cry panicked our little bot. She fluttered in all directions without finding a way out of the hood. Mordel didn't understand what was happening to him. She struggled, uttering little high-pitched cries. His snake slithered towards the hood, looking menacing. I had to save my bat before he suffocated it. Suddenly, crazy Mimi tore the bottom of Mortal's hood and found freedom. Furious, Mortal growled.
My brand new cape. I'll tell Mr. Radius. Your critter will be confiscated.
Paul tried to excuse him, but Mortal was too angry. Around us, the students stared at us suspiciously. They were getting dangerously close, among them Ty Croak. Meanwhile, Vampirette was still playing with her friends ... on the other side of the yard. I picked up my little disheveled animal with a folded wing.
Good for her.
Cursed Mortal. I thought very hard. Vampirette, help! As if she had heard my call, Vampirette appeared and asked,
Are you getting to know my neighbor? I warn you, she is chewing. No, she gets angry over nothing.
Mortal gave us an icy look. His snake stuck out its long tongue and grazed my cheek. Then the bell rang and we returned to class ... I was devastated. Rather than making the situation better for Vampirette as we hoped, we made it worse. Now Mortal and his snake hated us. How can we catch up?